Okay, so hi guys, welcome to my channel. I haven't posted in a while. Let me adjust myself. Let's start that over. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I have not posted in a while. I've just been busy and I'm just gonna try and post as frequently as I possibly can. I don't have a set schedule or anything. This is gonna be like a get ready with me / why I don't model anymore. Kind of clickbaity, kind of not, because I didn't stop modeling, but I do kind of get this question sometimes because I don't model as much and people just assume that I just quit. And I've been changing up my content that I post online a lot because I don't talk about it as much and I don't post about it as much. And people sometimes they'll send me casting calls for different things going around the city, like, hey, look, I found this thing, you're into modeling, like, this is something that you'd be interested in, something like that. And I have to tell them, oh, I'm not really interested, I'm not really that much into modeling anymore. And people, they think they're helping, but they're kind of being annoying, and they'll just be like, oh, why not, you should totally do it. And I don't know, I'm kind of over it. So basically, the reason why I started modeling was for creativity and self-expression. And my modeling journey hasn't always been creative or allowed me to express myself the way that I see fit. And I just started not doing as much of it because of that, because I'm like, well, if I can't express myself the way that I want and I can't be creative, then pretty much there's no point in me doing it at all. And like when I first started modeling, it wasn't a thing that I was doing for money. It wasn't a thing that I was trying to get a career out of. It wasn't anything that, like, it just wasn't anything. So yeah, like I just never really, I never wanted to do mainstream modeling. I never wanted to have modeling take over my whole life. I never wanted to do a lot of things that I ended up doing. And the only reason why I ended up getting into figure modeling is because that was the only type of modeling that paid. Not that I don't enjoy doing figure modeling, it's just that my main reason for getting into it was monetary gain. I don't know about now, but like back then people weren't really paying for just regular photo shoots if you work freelance. And Instagram modeling wasn't really a thing back then because Instagram just didn't exist. So yeah, I'm gonna list all the products I have in the description, but I'm basically just starting off with this NYX eyeshadow primer. It's okay, but the e.l.f. primer that I had, that was like $3, actually works better, but trying to give this one a chance. So, and as for this palette that I'm working on, it's quite huge. If I could find a box to show you guys, then I will. Sorry if you guys hear rummaging, but yeah. So this is the palette that I'm using. It's called Ink Cosmetics. Everything is a vegan, pressed shadows, and like this whole box is just art. So this is the palette that I'm using. It's really fun and magical. I'm gonna start off with this lime green because I've been feeling greens and blues lately. But yeah, the main reason why I started modeling is for creativity and self-expression. And if I can't be creative and I can't express myself, then like, what are we even doing? Basically. And then I got into figure modeling, and then I moved from Maryland to Chicago, and it's just, I don't know, it's been a whole lot of, I don't want to tell my whole life story on here, but yeah, basically I started doing alternative modeling just because it was fun and I was inspired by other alternative models on the internet, and I thought, well, if I can do modeling and it can be like this, then that's pretty cool. I don't mind doing that. And that's, you know, what I set out to do, what I set out to be. And then I got into figure modeling. And then I started doing trade shoots with people wanting me to do more mainstream looks. And for the longest time, I would not dye my hair. I would not cut my hair the way I wanted. I wouldn't get tattoos. I wouldn't get piercings. I just wouldn't do anything to my appearance that would limit the type of work that I could do. I just wouldn't do it because I was just so afraid of it having detrimental effects on my career. So I just didn't want to do it. But I got unhappy because I wasn't doing the type of modeling that I set out to do. I just was doing whatever the hell people were telling me to do, and half the time it wasn't even paying. A lot of times I would end up doing TF shoots with people with the agreement that I would shoot with them for their project and they would shoot for me with my project. But when it came to wanting to shoot me for the things that I wanted to do, they were MIA, they weren't interested, they kind of disappeared or whatever, like, I don't know. So I'm like, well, if these people aren't really interested in helping me do the type of work that I want to do, then I'm not going to help them work on the type of work that they want to do, because that doesn't really suit me. Because what ends up happening is people see certain looks in my portfolio and they think that's the type of model that I am and the type of looks that I specialize in, and then they in turn want to do more of that, and I kind of got trapped in this loop, and it felt so never ending, and I just never got to do the type of work that I wanted to do at a certain point. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and cut my hair the way I want to. I'm gonna get my tattoo, and over time I'm gonna get more and more weird, and I know it's gonna cut my opportunities, but I'll be happier because I'll be able to express myself the way that I want. And then I started doing my own makeup for shoots because the makeup looks that makeup artists were doing on me were just so awful. Like, I remember when that nude trend was popping and everybody wanted to put that ugly ass beige lipstick on me. Like, that is not nude. I'm a dark skinned person. At least use peach or brown, or blend peach with brown or something. Not that awful ass beige. It was just so terrible. But anyway, so like that was a problem. And then sometimes designers will have me come and model for their projects, and it wouldn't be paid or anything. And some of the stuff they had was either ugly or like it wouldn't fit. And instead of them being professional and being like, okay, everybody tell me your measurements and I'll make sure that I have something for you when you come to shoot, it was more so like, I'm just gonna have a whole bunch of things in varying sizes, and if you guys can't fit it, then oh well, you guys can try and squeeze in it if you want to. Even when I was like super skinny, like I weighed an average of 115 to 120, and I'm 5'10", so I was technically underweight. So yeah. I have to go get the dogs. I will be right back and talk to you guys. Alright, I'm gonna pause you and then I'll be back once I get the dogs. Dogs are barking. Okay, so I'm back. I got the dogs. I'm sorry if you guys hear them in the background. In the coming video, I don't know what you can tell you guys. I live with 4 dogs, and then there's other dogs like that are neighboring us that you guys may hear in the background. So I do apologize in advance. But I'm just gonna pick up where I left off at, if you guys are confused or whatever. Yeah, basically I don't like the way makeup artists do my makeup. It's just not my style, and over time I've developed my own style. So I'm just not really interested in letting people do my makeup anymore. Because if they're not going to do my makeup the way that I want my makeup to be done, then I just would prefer it if they just didn't do my makeup at all. And that's just my own personal thing. What else? Photographers just... like, I would make certain deals with certain photographers and they just wouldn't honor their other end of the bargain. I dealt with some that were kind of flaky. Not in a way of I would plan a shoot with them and they would cancel, but just like I would plan a shoot with them that was supposed to go a certain way, and then they decided that they wanted things to go differently. So, it just didn't go as planned. I'm going to attempt to cut crease right here. Relatively new to these things. But, yeah. So, I just dealt with a lot of crap, basically. And I just don't feel like dealing with it. And I'm to a point in my life where modeling is no longer my full-time job. It's no longer my part-time job. I wouldn't even consider it to be like a freelance thing. I do it maybe once or twice a year, if even that much. If I had to be like completely honest with you, which is vastly different from when I first started. I was doing it like 2 or 3 times a day. So yeah, it's not that I stopped modeling. I just, over time, I got more and more selective with who I work with, how I work. Got more and more interested in doing other things. So it's just not a huge part of my life anymore. Yeah, basically that's about it. I just got sick of dealing with other people's crap, and like it doesn't make sense to me how models are considered like the bottom of the barrel when it comes to the fashion industry, when the fashion industry kind of revolves around models. I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me how that became such a thing. I'm going to use this loose palette yellow instead of this one, and then blend it out with the pressed one. And this is a loose pigment. It's called Mica Bella. They're very vibrant. So yeah, I just like got sick of people's crap. I got sick of people not really accepting me for who I am and pretending like they do when it turns out they don't. I got sick of people trying to get me to do things that I already explicitly told them that I don't want to do, and it's not anything sexual or anything like that, but just like certain things I just wasn't interested in. And then they would try and like force me to be interested in it. It's very odd. There are some photographers, believe it or not, who purposely go out of their ways to make alternative models look awful in their photos. in comparison to mainstream models. And they just basically want to say, hey, if you do this to your body, you're going to look ugly. And they teach classes on photography and modeling or whatever, and just kind of use you as like a bad example of what not to do if you want to be taken seriously. And it's just so freaking awful. And of course they don't tell you that. Also, a lot of photographers will lie and say that the shoot is TF and they're just going to use it for their portfolio, when in actuality they're going to be selling that work. And because you signed the modeling release, you're not going to get any type of royalties from that. So yeah, the dishonesty, the distrust, the manipulation is very rampant, especially if you're new to the industry or you're very young. If you're someone that just doesn't have a good sense of body autonomy and you're easily influenced, easily manipulated, because you just don't want to be a bad model. You don't want to be the type of person that has a bad rep in the modeling industry, especially when you work in a very like small niche community area. Especially when you're new to the industry, you just don't want to. And I kind of got sick of that pressure to be a good model when it came to boundaries and self-respect. I'm gonna blend this a little bit more. I'm gonna use this yellow down here to blend this. And then I'm going to use this BH Aurora Lights palette that I got for Black Friday. It was like $8. So, yeah. This is like what the palette looks like. The other palette is huge, so it would be kind of hard for me to hold it up. But, yeah. I'm going to go over this with Australis, the shade. And glowing. So it's like a greenish yellowish color, similar to everything else. And then as for this part, giving me super duper mermaid vibes. So yeah, I just got sick of people not respecting my boundaries, and people trying to take advantage of me, people trying to manipulate me to doing things that I don't really want to do. People trying to spring things up on me last minute. You know, like I'll agree to do a photo shoot with somebody, and we'll have certain terms and certain conditions that I agree to prior to going to the shoot, and then once I get there, they try and spring something else on me entirely. Like, I would agree to do a TF shoot, fully clothed TF shoot, and then the photographer will just be like, hey, want to take your top off? It's like, no, I didn't agree to do a topless shoot. And you didn't mention that beforehand. You're not about to spring that up on me now. Or, like, photographers know what I look like. It's all over my social media. It's all over my portfolio. I show up to the shoot looking like the weirdo that I am, and they start nitpicking, being like, ew, I didn't expect you to come looking like that. I thought that's something you did for the other photographers. It's like they don't expect you to be a real person if you're alternative, and that's annoying as fuck. So kind of got sick of that. Dogs again. give it a minute. Done yet? Okay, so I think the dogs are stopped barking now. Okay, so yeah, like I would show up to a shoot looking like the weirdo that I am. A lot of times I make it a point to not wear makeup when I go to a shoot if it's my first time meeting somebody, because I want them to see what I look like without makeup so they know that I'm like a real person. I'm not trying to catfish them or whatever, because a lot of models use Facetune and all this other stuff. I just, want them to know what I look like. But depending on the shoot, sometimes I don't have time for that, and I would just come to the shoot with my makeup already done so that we can just start shooting immediately. And then photographers would just like give me shit for being goth, and it's so annoying. It's like you purposely went out of your way to hire a goth model, yet you're upset that I'm goth. Why? They'll tell me to bring my own outfits to shoots, which I do anyways, because I don't trust whatever they bring. And they would just give me shit for what I brought. Like, ew, you have all this black. Everything you have is black. There's nothing colorful here. And it's like, duh. That's just really annoying. What else? Things I'm just over entirely. People will be like, oh my gosh, I love your style. I can't wait to shoot with you. It's going to be awesome. And I have a positive interaction with them, talking, and I ask them questions prior to the shoot, and they seem really cool about everything. Yet when I get there, it's, oh my gosh, you need to go wash off all your makeup and just wear lipstick, just wear lip gloss, like clear lip gloss, and just like some really light makeups, just like a little bit of brown eyeliner. You don't need black, and oh my gosh, where the fuck are your eyebrows, and all this other stuff. And just like, people are just so effing rude, and it's so unnecessary, especially when it comes to like a TF shoot, because it's like, I took time out of my day to come spend with you, and I'm not even getting paid for it, yet you think it's such a bright idea to like talk shit to me. Why? I'm gonna attempt to layer this gel liner on top. So yeah, like, people act like they're so interested in working with you, like, but then when it comes to actually working with you, it's always a mess. Almost always. And it's just to the point where I have anxiety, and I'm like, I don't trust people to like be cool people to work with, and I'm oddly surprised when they are, and that shouldn't be the case. Out of all the photo shoots that I've done, about 70% of them have been negative. And that's like from start to finish, from the talking phase to the way they approach me, to talking to them on the phone, to like the actual shoot, and then the after effects of the shoot. I used to only shoot TF shoots for magazines, I used to submit to a lot of alternative magazines, but I stopped submitting to them because I would agree to collab with photographers, and I would send them all of the requirements. And some of the requirements they have are like the pictures have to be 300 DPI, high res at the very least. They can't be posted anywhere online. You can't share them on social media prior to them being published. Otherwise, they're not going to use them. You can't submit those same images to other magazines. They want them to be exclusive to them. You need to have 2 or 3 looks and submit at least 3 to 5 photos. 3 to 5 looks meaning different. It doesn't have to be completely different hair and makeup, but at least 3 different outfits and 3 different backgrounds. But it could all be in the same location, just different backgrounds. And photographers would post those pictures on social media. They would not send those pictures in a timely manner that I would need for the deadlines. They would send me low-res pictures, and they'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't do high-res pictures on my camera. And I'm like, but you knew that I needed high-res pictures prior to us working together. That's like the whole point of us working together, and yet you can't do the main thing that I need. What the hell? Like, a lot of things will come out after the shoot, not necessarily during the shoot or in the beginning stages. So I would find out a lot of stuff after the fact, so there would be no way for me to avoid anything. So that was just really annoying. Photographers would, like, nobody ever tried to sleep with me, but sometimes photographers would just do things that are really sketchy, and like, they would get mad at me for like setting boundaries to protect myself. And then sometimes they would try and manipulate me into doing things I didn't want to do, and I'm just like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't have a reason to. And they would get upset. I'm like, but you knew that I wasn't gonna do any of that stuff prior to us working together, so why are you acting brand new? It's so weird to me. I don't know. Yeah, just a lot of mess. Photographers would post pictures of me in their portfolio, but they wouldn't credit me. And when I would ask them about it, they'd be like, why would I credit you? You're the model. It's like, that's exactly why you would credit me, because I'm the model in your portfolio. You're using me to lure clients to you. My lips are a little crusty putting this on, but that's okay. Like, you're using me to lure clients to you. You're using me to lure other models towards you. Yet you don't want to credit me so that those models could reach out to me if they wanted to check references, or if somebody else saw me in your portfolio and they wanted to work with me as well. They wouldn't be able to reach out to me from your portfolio unless they saw me in somebody else's portfolio, or they found me on their own. They wouldn't know. So what do you mean you don't credit models in your photo shoots? Some photographers have this sort of elitist complex where they feel like they're better than models. There have been times where people have approached me, and let me put this on real quick. There have been times where people have approached me to do a shoot with them, and then they'll be like, my rates are, and it's like, you're the one who approached me. And they'd be like, well, I don't pay models. Models pay me because I'm the one with the camera equipment, and I spent this amount of money on my cameras and lights and I have a degree in photography and I worked with all these celebrities and blah blah blah, and they go on this whole defensive spiel, and it's like, all of this because you approached me to work with you, yet you want me to pay you. How? Like, make it make sense, okay? Because it doesn't to me at all whatsoever. And I don't know, it's just like really exhausting. So again, it's not that I stopped modeling, it's just that I don't have a reason to pursue it. If it's not really worth pursuing. And I have so many, when I first started modeling was like the only thing I knew how to do. And so I felt more pressure to go along with things that I really didn't need to be going along with. And now that I have more skills that I've learned over the years, I don't feel pressured to do certain things, and that pisses people off. People don't like it when you have boundaries. People don't like it when you have options. People don't like it when you have a sense of body autonomy. Because as soon as you start stating your own boundaries and things that you just are not willing to do, that's when you become a bad model. And I just don't care for working with people like that. I'm only wanting to work with people who allow me to be creative and express myself the way that I see fit. But yeah, like, if that's not the case, then I don't want to be bothered with them. And I don't see why I would have to be. Because you know, like, why would I put myself in a situation I don't necessarily have to be in? If it's not my job or career or whatever, then, like, what's the point? I'm just gonna use an actual brush for this part, because that's not gonna blend that well. As for contouring my nose, see how huge this thing is? I'm gonna turn it. It's like almost as wide as my chest. So, yeah. I just got sick of people trying to manipulate me into doing things that I really want to do. And trying to take advantage of me. And there's also a lot of scammers out there. I don't really feel like putting on foundation because I'm just staying home today for YouTube. So, yeah. I basically stopped modeling as much because I don't feel like dealing with people's mess. I don't feel like having to keep explaining myself to people. And I don't feel like being bothered with all the mess going on. So, yeah. I could make other videos tackling certain topics, but I don't want this video to be too long, and I'm pretty sure it's already like super duper long. And I just want to finish my makeup all in one video. So I'm just using a combination of blacks and browns for my cheek contour, because I usually contour with black, but lately I've been liking how it looks with black and brown. And my highlight is just the Ink Doll Cosmetics highlighter. I like it because it's like iridescent, like it's a white iridescent color, and it just matches pretty much any look I'm gonna do really well. Yeah, if you guys would like a more in-depth video on this topic or similar topics, different experiences I had working with photographers, positive experiences, negative experiences, why I stopped submitting to magazines or anything like that, comment below and I will keep you guys posted. Thank you guys so much for watching this Get Ready With Me. I know it seems a little sporadic. I'm sorry about the dogs in the background. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.